everyone. Today I am going to be reading The Amazing Book Is Not on Fire, but it's going to be the Dan and Phil fanfiction written by Dan Howell. So yeah, bleh. It's called The Urge, bleh. The Dan and Phil fanfiction written by Dan Howell, narrated by Elaine. Bleh. It was a crisp winter's night in London, England. It was that particular time in late January where there were no longer any frost, but simply biting cold air in what felt like a completely empty atmosphere. Dan Howell was walking down the road. His tall black silhouette cast shadows from his artificial amber glow of street lamps. His breath formed swirls of mist with every exhalation, and he decided to slide his exposed hands inside his coat pockets to retain some warmth. The street was empty at this time, and his footsteps echoed up and down around him, only interrupted by the cruising hum of a taxi driving past. He wasn't totally alone after all. Dawn had time to think on this journey, time to think about what had happened the night before. The events had played. I'm gonna cry. Oh God. Fangirl attack, sorry. The events had played in his head so many times over that he didn't know whether he could trust their accuracy or if his own perceptions had rewritten how events unfolded. Anyway. No, I fell asleep. Phone, don't you fall asleep on me. Bleh, bleh, bleh. The event, Wait. What? I just saw the last line. No. Dan, why? I'm gonna murder you. No. The events had played in his head so many times over that he didn't know whether he could trust the accuracy or if events unfolded. Anyway, he thought about it. There was one thing certain. His friend Phil Lester was dead. You know how I am, guys. I'm gonna start sobbing in a minute. I can't. Okay, I'm gonna read on now. Phil had a habit of always being in the worst place at the worst time. It was an endearing quality that often resulted in funny stories for him to share with his friends or his followers on the internet. He was a kind person. Perhaps that's why he was signaled out as a victim. It wasn't fair. A painful stab of recollection shot through Dan's brain, as if forcing itself through a wall he had built to protect himself. He saw it again, the dead, lifeless eyes, the way it moved so swiftly out of the darkness. The blood was the most vivid memory of all. Dan had somehow found himself collapsed in the corner, unable to move, but out of the corner of his eye he saw the crimson tail of his friend's life weaving around the cobblestones of the street and down the drain. Dan saw his hand twitching, those last moments of resistance and hope that someone would be able to save him. Then it stopped. That is the last time he saw Phil Lester alive. Dan arrived home at their apartment. It felt wrong. Opening the door to the living room, the usual bright colors of their possessions seemed inappropriate, disrespectful even. How could anything dare to be so bright at this time? He turned off the lights and collapsed on the gray carpet of their hallway. Sleep. The next day was to be Phil's funeral. Dan had no interest in going. His friendship with Phil was something personal to him, and not something he wanted to share with family and friends who would mean well but insult with every word of comfort. He decided that even if he had to attend physically, he would be somewhere else in his mind. He had to. Dan remained silent and stoic through the service. People left to return to their lives, relatives trading condolences, leaving Dan alone in the room with the coffin. He didn't want to look. It'd be fast as he could. He wanted to run away. Wait, he didn't want to look. It would be real if he saw. He wanted to run away as fast as he could from this nightmare, but he had to see. Dan strode over and gazed into the box. Lifeless. Even with Phil's typically pale skin, you used to see the warm glow of life within. All that could be seen here was sickly pale green color of death. God, I'm gonna cry. No. Ugh. I'm trying not to fucking sob right now. No. Ugh. I didn't know this would be so bad. I thought it was gonna be a cute, fluffy story, hugs and kisses, and actually, I'm stupid knowing Dan. No. Knowing Dan, it's just like, no. Plus, they're not gay, are they? Wait, I am such a bad fan. Oh my god, I'm gonna cry. Dan went to turn away to walk out the room into a life where everything familiar was gone when something grabbed his wrist. Don't go, it's okay. Don turned to see the same pale skin he had just had burned into his memory, gripping at his shirt. Oh my god, is he alive? Oh my god, 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 oh my god. He looked up slowly to see his dead friend sat bolt upright. Dan ran, not stopping to blink, breathe, or process a single thought. He sprinted out the back exit and all the way across the grounds of the building underneath a tree. He vomited. It wasn't real. He was hysterical. He tried to rationalize the thoughts in his head as his eyes shook with distress. Dan, stop running. I'm not going to hurt you. He spun around to see Phil standing upright, as if completely fine with his hands forward, as if anticipating Dan's irrational behavior. This can't be real, Don said, grasping behind his back to try and hold onto the tree as if it was a tether to reality. You know I'm real, Don. This is real, and I think you know why. No! Don shouted and pushed Phil backwards in utter disbelief. Phil grabbed Don's wrist and pinned him against the tree. What? What is this? What is this? Is this gonna start getting hugs and stuff? Hugs? Dan could feel the sharper edges prodding uncomfortably into his back, as if the tree itself was pushing him towards the nightmare. It was a vampire. The words penetrated into Don's head and seemed to pull down on his soul, as if everything he had been trying not to believe in the last 2 days was sinking like quicksand. I don't know how, or if that's exactly what it is, but it explains well enough, Phil said in a calmer tone, clearly aware of Don's slow realization. I cannot do their voices. Oh my god, even if I tried. Let me try it. You aren't real, Phil, Don said in a flat, emotionless tone. His head was bowed, and in Philip's grip, it seemed Dan wasn't trying to resist anymore. If what you're saying is true, you aren't Phil. You're just a beast possessing his body. Oh, Dan's fear of the paranormal. Oh my god, it implies here. Pretty interesting enough. I should not be reading this at like 11 o'clock at night on the Christmas Eve. Oh well. Who cares? Wait, did I? Hold on. Okay. Where did I leave off? Oh, here it is.